Hello and welcome. I am Snyder from Snyder's Sunshine Art Studio, where creativity shines. With over 20 plus years of public school teaching experience, I bring step-by-step art instruction and ready-to-use art lessons to spark creativity in students and offer art teachers a much-needed reprieve. So let's create something wonderful together. And I am here to show you how to take some of the hearts from my prior videos and use them to make Valentine cards. Here in part one of this three-part series is an example of our hearts where we used different media or different supplies to produce our hearts so that there's a little highlight in the center to make them look kind of round. We had some value that way. Then part two, I came back and explained how to use different watercolor techniques to fill in the backgrounds. So if you didn't see those two videos, you should go check them out. The next step, which I said in part two that I could do, is explain how to turn these into little cards or gift cards or greeting cards. We could take, if you had a quarter sheet of paper, you could just take the entire quarter sheet of paper and put all 6 hearts onto a folded paper to make a greeting card. Okay, this is a half sheet of paper. The examples at the beginning here were on a quarter sheet of paper, and you can see how they're kind of a smaller card and they're quite nice. They're actually very similar to the box of Valentine cards that kids would hand out, that size. Since this is a half sheet of paper, our cards are going to be a little larger, and I'm going to start off by simply cutting them apart. Now, as mentioned, you could have 2 to a panel, you could have 4 to a panel, it all depends on what you want to do, and then the folded piece of paper could be whatever size you want it to be. So I could take 4 of these, or 2, it looks like I'm going to be able to fit 2, but if I were to trim them down, I could fit possibly 4 to a folded piece of paper. Okay, if I turned it this way, I could have 2, right? 2 hearts, which could represent some emotions and feelings of caring for another person because you have 2 hearts. Okay, so that's a possibility. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make 6 different cards. So I have some colored paper, it's construction paper, and I'm going to crease it through the center. Use my fingernails. I tend to like torn edges. There's something about it that I like. Now when I went to tear that, the way I did it was, and I'll show you with this one here. I fold it over, crease it, and then I take my hands, one towards me and one away, with my fingertips, my pincher fingers at the crease, and one away and one towards, okay? So let's do that with this yellow one I have here. So this one here is printer paper, the other paper was construction paper. I got a little glitter glue on there from that one card. There we are, okay. Alright, so now I'm going to take each of these and produce a fun card using some cut, paste, and mixed media. So I'm going to fold this in half. I tend to like the torn edge at the bottom. And I'm going to start with this one here. I'm going to cut it so that, I'm going to refer to my original ones here. Alright, I cut it so it's a little wavy edge. And this is the one where we scratched into the paper and then painted over it. Okay. And I'm going to glue that. Yeah, I'm going to glue it like that. Now I have some glue on a frosting, cake frosting lid. And then I have one of those inexpensive plastic brushes that you get with those paint sets, the watercolor sets. I like the use of this. Then I can just paint the glue on the edge. With students, they tend to want to paint glue everywhere. So you want to emphasize that having the glue on the edge will keep the artwork flat. It also allows you to have the center open so you can kind of touch it with your thumb and your fingers are holding the other side. Now I do need to flip it over, so I will be touching it a little more. I get glue on my finger, I just do that, rub it off. We're going to press it down and set it aside. Okay, let's do the next one. I am going to take this one, and where this letter V is and where this letter V is, I'm going to fold the letter V's of the heart. And now I'm going to cut inside the smaller heart. Open it up, and I'm going to cut the edge of this to go with that dripped paint there. And I think I'll do that over here. Yes. Get all my little bits out of the way. And I'm going to use a blue paper for this one. Did I lose the little heart? I want that little heart. Okay. Flip this over. Put our glue on the edge. And flip it over. Stick it right there. Okay. And we're going to put our glue on the back of it. And I'm going to have it like it's falling down. Okay, we're going to set that one aside now. I'm going to get another piece of paper. I'm going to use red this time. I'm going to trim this guy up and take the side off here, top, that side, and that side, and put the glue on it. So as I'm doing this, I originally already filmed this sequence, or this episode with the original ones you saw at the beginning, and for some reason my camera did not record it, even though my camera was saying it was recording. So originally I didn't have any ideas. I had an idea of what I was going to do, but I didn't have specific, there's one of those words that A.M. Snyder struggles with, ideas for each heart. I was just going to be like, okay, we're going to cut this and do that, and that's exactly what I still am doing. So this one, I'm going to piece it together kind of thing, or frame it up. Yeah, I guess that's how it's going to be. I'm going to frame it up. Okay, and we're going to set that one aside. Okay, let's get another blue paper. And I am going to take this one, and I'm going to leave the white on this one. And I'm going to tilt it like that. Okay. Tilt. Now this one looks like it has these stitches because of what I did with the scoring of the paper or scratching into the paper. So I was thinking of doing more like stitches. It's not glued there. Stitches on it. We'll come back to that. I'm taking this yellow one here. I like to lay the hearts on them. Blue or yellow? Blue a yellow. I think I'm going with yellow. Okay. And with this one, I am going to cut around the bottom and make it curvy. Yes, that's cute. And then I'm going to take the scrap and try to cut a handle like a coffee mug. See, does that work? No, let's try this one. Let's see. I think it needs to be more curved. Well, let's piece them together. Yes? Yes. That'll work. Let's piece it together. Okay. Let's see. Voila. Yep. There we go. All right. Now I was thinking of leaving the top of this open, and then it could have something that slides in and out. But I don't know what the something would be, so something to think about. If you leave the top without any glue, I guess you could make little flowers that stick out of the top. That's a possibility. I'll hold on to that thought. There we go. We have our little mug. How cute and adorable is that, right? Okay, and our last one here. I'm going to put this one onto red paper. Before I put it onto the red paper though, I am going to trim up the edges here. Actually, I see a little fuzziness. I really like that. I think I'm going to try to follow that. Let's see. I'm going to go over here and try to match it up. Yeah, look how cute that is. I like it. Alright, put my glue on it because it wants to pop up. Now, the nice thing about these plastic brushes is you can just sit them in a cup of water and the glue just washes off of them. And you can rinse them under running water and then reuse them. They dry out very well. The glue doesn't get stuck on them like that. It's just, they're wonderful. So, that's A.M. Snyder's thing. Okay. All right, so they're all glued down, and I'm going to now add to them. I'm going to go back to the first one, which was this one. Get my junk out of there. Okay, and with this one, I am going to use the X's and the O's. And I have my pencil, and I'm going to add X and O. And A.M. Snyder's understanding of the X's and O's is that the X is kiss, and the O's are hugs. So, as a kid, I'm thinking back to 5th grade, and I'm like, I got cards where students would write X and O after their names, and I'm like, none of those 5th grade students kissed me, thankfully. That would be weird. So I don't know why we use the X and O's. I don't know where it came from. It's something to research later in life, I guess. Or if I was really interested, I'll look it up. Now, I have some colored ink pens, just regular colored ink pens. There's nothing really special about them other than they're not the typical black and blue. There's the blue one. And I'm just going to use them to draw. I'm going to draw around my X's and O's. add some design and decoration. I really want to thicken these up, so I'm just going to take the ink pen and do that. These particular ink pens kind of have like a gel tip to them, but I know they're not. They just roll on nicely. But you can use markers, you can use any drawing, coloring tool. The one thing I don't have here are colored pencils. Not a giant fan of colored pencils. I've said that probably in other videos. I don't like how you have to constantly sharpen them, and then if you sharpen them to a point, they usually break because the filament inside of the wood has already cracked, because how students don't seem to worry about throwing them and having them drop on the floor and tap them. They just break all up. And then it's just a headache to constantly sharpen them. Now, personally, in my artwork, I have always found Prismacolors to be great. Recently, an after-school program was getting rid of all their art supplies, and they had a set of colored pencils. So I took them that they were getting rid of, and I don't know what brand they are, but they're pretty decent. Yeah. So beware of the Walmart colored pencils from Crayola or Rose Art. I'm not a fan of them. They're the ones that seem to not be sturdy or blend well. Okay, so I'm going to take this red ink pen and I'm going to go around this heart. Wow. Wow. That's like a wow. I can't get over the wow factor of how that red shows up. I'm going to thicken that up. That red against the watercolor background and then the gray pencil. I kind of want to add that to this now. Oh yeah. That's really fun. So yeah, you never know what happens on the spot. Alrighty. And just for the fun of it, add a few extra lines here. Fill in some of the space. Balance it out. Alright, now, as mentioned, I did these before and I videoed it, and then my camera for some reason didn't record it, even though it says record. Currently it says record, so I'm hoping it's recording. But you can see the difference here from the original one to this one. The red really does help it out. I did write love there, so let's do that as well. I lost my pencil. There it is. Let's see. We do this. And we take this red and outline it in essence. Yeah, there's something to it. There we go. All right, now you can see how those turned out. So that's fun. All right, let's get our next one. Which one was our next one? Let's use this one. Let's use this one because that one's still really wet. Okay, so with this one, I am thinking of using the pink. Let's use the pink here. And well, it looks like it has a little bit of that glue on the tip of it because it hasn't been used yet. I don't know when they started that. I don't remember that before. But when you get new pens, they have that on there. I'm going to use this pink, and I'm going to color on the outside of this. Yeah. Okay, so there's still glue there, so now I got glue in my pen, but oh well. Beware. You might need them to sit for a little bit before you get into it. Now I wasn't going to put pen on the white paper, but my pen went up on there, so now I'm doing that. So you have to take your mistakes and work them in somehow. Something for kids to really learn. Now I'm thinking, why not? Why not outline this? Okay, so as a lesson, you can always have students produce the hearts one day, and then the next day you could have them cut and paste the hearts. And then if you need a third day where they finish up decorating them and writing messages, you could have this lesson go over 3 days. If you have a class that's an hour long, or you could shorten it, and you could simply have it where you have to get them glued down and you have to write on them and decorate them within that 1 hour. And then I'm going to draw inside. Okay, I'm going to take Sharpie over this too. And I'm going to add some movement lines, texture lines, well, I think that's done. Now, I did on the original one add the word love. Should I add the word love? Yeah, I probably should. Alright, we're going to do it right in here. Blocking it out. There we go. And for the fun of it, done. Okay, and that word love, let's add some pink to it. Beautiful. I'll bring this one back. In this one, I used the symbols of a flower and a heart, and I repeated them in a sequence. Whoops! As I dropped the card. Okay, so you can see, you know, heart, flower, heart, flower, heart, flower. I didn't do that on here, but it's still fun, right? All right, let's put those aside and get our next one. Let's do this one here. Now with this one, I want to use the black, and I want to carry out the idea of this itchy scratchy line for some reason. I really do. So just to do that, kind of thinking of like these are stitches bringing back the frame that has been cut off. And then I was like, what if I had an oil pastel and made it look like rays, because rays are fun. So if I did that, it's going to look bright. And when I got the oil pastels in the original video, I noticed the glue, the glitter glue that my daughter got from some family member as a gift. And they get us these gifts for our kids, art supplies. and they don't use them. They end up in Mommy's art room. And so let's use it. There it is. It's Crayola. And I did notice it works really well. So if you're interested, again, it's Crayola glitter glue. I really like how it draws nicely. So I was going to put little dots around to make it even more spectacular. This card goes to someone really special with the gold on it, the glitter. At least that's how A.M. Snyder feels about it. And I'm going to draw on the inside. I think I need to press it from the back end here because it's probably getting used up now. Lovely. And I'm going to write the word love. I'm going to push this up. It's like toothpaste. You have to push from the bottom to get it to come through the top. Because I already used this earlier, as mentioned, on this one here. So you can see the difference there and how I did those. They're very fun too. Very shiny, very loving, warm. Okay, let's do this one. I'm going to take the green pen and I'm going to trace around that fuzzy edge. Now I already did it and the camera shut off on me, so I'm just repeating what I just did. So if you're like, well, there's already a drawn fuzzy edge, that's because the camera is not behaving well for me. Okay, there's that one. And I'm going to add to the inside of it as well. I use fuzzy heart on the inside. Cute, 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 cute. Oh, let's draw one that's smaller. Okay. And then, yeah, let's put it on the outside here. Let's just draw around. And darken it. Yeah. And then just keep drawing around. And frame it up. Alright, so I'm just making a pattern with my marks here. And I'm thinking about the space between them and what I'd like to do. I have white. I'm going to use white. Alrighty, look at that. Ooh. Alright, I'm going to write Happy Valentine's Day. Oops. Make it work. I'll make this a little more fancier over here. Done. All right. Oh, yeah. Do I want to do that? It's in there now. Okay, so again, because I've already done this, I have another one. And with that first one, I outlined the square and I added little bumpy lines on the outside of it. I used a bunch of little curves and dots, and then I tried to make it look like there was a heart on the outside too, and fancified it. All right, and then you can see the difference here. Just ideas for you. Okay, let's do our next one here. This guy. This guy is going to have a smiley face. It is. We are going to make it a happy heart. And all these little scratch lines, I was thinking of stitches. Now I'm thinking it's just hairy. It's just hairy. I don't want to add to that though. I think I'm going to do it out here instead. There we go. Yeah. And I'm going to trace around him. Or her. Right? Him or her. And then let's write some messages. You are special. Love you always. Smile more. All right, I like that. This is very similar to what I originally did, so there you go. Very cute. All right, our last one, everyone, is this little coffee mug. And I mentioned about making things that are coming out of it. So first of all, I think that it's going to need a table. I really do. I use my pencil here. And it's going to sit on a table. Go across it like this. And I'm going to take the white and go over it. It creates like a table that has some wood-looking grain to it. And the white crayon is actually blending. It's making the white crayon partly dirty too, so beware of that. You might need to clean it off on a separate sheet of paper. There it is. And then, as mentioned, I'm going to take these scraps, and I have this extra blue paper here, and I'm going to use a marker, okay, and color this in. And one more. I'm going to use this one. Okay, so I have 3, and I'm going to cut these down to be like stems. And stick that in there. Okay, it doesn't want to go all the way down, so I'm just going to trim it off. There we go. There. That one. And this one. Yes, A.M. Snyder's fingers are getting quite messy. Trim this guy. Alright, a little tack of glue right there. A little tack of glue right there. A little tack of glue right there. And then I have the little bits. And there's a leaf. Okay, now this is quite tedious, so as a student, it might not be something that's enjoyable for you. And as an art teacher, you might want to think about that with your students. How tedious can they work with something? Okay, now I have this blue paper, so I'm just going to use it. I'm going to fold it. And I'm just going to cut a flowery shape. Okay. And we're going to put our glue on there. And stick them in the spot. There they are. And I'm going to use the pink and draw little hearts. How fancy and fun is this card? Now I put the pen down, I picked it back up because I was thinking of a different color, but I'm going to go with the pink. Alright, well this is A.M. Snyder from Snyder's Sunshine Art Studio. Enjoyed my time with sharing how we can take our hearts and make these adorable little greeting cards for any time of the year that you want to express love towards someone or warmth or cheer them up for that matter. A.M. Snyder from Snyder's Sunshine Art Studio. So grateful that you are here to shine creativity into the world. Until next time, bye-bye.